I am here today with Jenee Naylor, also known as Hilo Lux, former Target manager turned top fashion content creator and style expert, most recently seen on The Today Show. Oh my gosh, how amazing was that?
Amazing.
Did you have a great time?
I had the best time.
Oh.
Everything you saw on TV, that's how quick it was.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, in and out.
It was literally a whirlwind. They walked onto the set and they said, 3, 2, 1. It was like, nice to meet you. Hi. 3, 2, 1. We went down that thing and they were like, you're a natural. It's your first time here. Okay, bye. And I was like, oh.
And you're like, I now need time to decompress.
Literally, and everyone's like, do you remember how to get out? Oh, yeah, sure.
What an experience.
It was. It literally, I feel like it just put a battery in my back of like, I love this.
Oh, that's great. Because I think, you've been doing this for how long now?
5 years.
Okay. And I think like any job, you get into the swing of what's your everyday. You get into the swing of what you know.
Yeah.
And then you've got to sometimes do things that bring the spark back a bit.
Yes. I always say that I have to be excited about what I'm doing. I feel like that's why I always am pivoting to some degree because I'm bored.
Yeah.
And I can't show up on every platform doing the same thing and not be excited, right? I have to do something that makes me excited to get on YouTube, something that makes me want to post on TikTok, something that makes me want to post on Instagram, something that makes me want to post on the blog, and I'm like to know it. And so I have to do little things to be like, oh, I can't wait to finish this project because I'm excited about it.
And I think that people can tell when you're not excited.
Even if
it's not exciting for the viewer either.
You have to want to put out valuable content, information. Like you have to
know what you're doing it for.
That has to be one of your pillars.
Yeah.
I feel like to continue to pivot because it is extra work.
Yeah.
Right. It's added pressure. It's doing something new and learning something new and figuring out something new. And you have to want to add that value and continue to be unique enough that you're always willing to do that.
Yeah.
Because the easy part would just be, this is what I do.
Exactly.
And I just do it like this forever and ever. And till someone tells me to stop.
One thing that I think from my perspective, it's been incredible seeing you grow and do all of these different things over the years. But one thing that always sort of, whenever I talk about you behind your back, to other people, I always sort of reference, I love how transparent you are about what goes into attending Fashion Week.
Yes.
Because we see the outcome. We see the fabulous pictures and the street style videos from, lots and lots of influencers, and it looks so glamorous. And you show the end to end. We're seeing everything that goes into creating those looks and turning up, but also how much money it costs. Yeah. You speak so honestly about what that is an investment for you that you think is worth it. For you mainly, it's for press to get yourself out there. And I mean, it's working. And
it's being, I said, I kind of had to make the decision of why it was important.
Yes.
Right. So for me, it's a part of my job because I want to be at the forefront of getting the information.
Yes.
I don't want to have to watch so-and-so's video to then be like, oh, this is what they showed on the runway. So that's one of the reasons. Yeah. It's also the press and the notoriety because that turns into work.
Oh, exactly.
I think that's very underestimated, right?
People see you about, and then they're like, oh,
they want to be in alignment.
Yeah.
She is at the forefront of fashion. She is getting, press. So, and it's random brands, jewelry brands. It'll be makeup brands. But now they want to be included. So that turns into more work. There's several reasons. But I had to think through all of these because it's so much money. Yeah. But it's also so much effort. And it takes me away from actual paying jobs.
That's very true. It's a month. It's a solid month.
It's a solid month. And if you include Copenhagen, it's a month and a half.
Yeah.
That's at the beginning of August.
Talking about this last Fashion Week, what were your ups and downs?
My up was, I went to Copenhagen for the first time. It shot to the top of my favorite cities.
Really? Do tell. I've never been.
It was the most inspiring. Oh, that was going to be my other one. Is that Fashion Week brings out that creative spark.
Yeah.
But it was the most inspiring. It was the most personal style I've seen. Typically at Fashion Week, you can see what's trending. You can see because you just see several people in the same kind of things. I don't think I saw the same thing twice.
Oh.
The entire week I was there.
I love it.
And there's such a range. kind of like how people feel like they have the freedom here in New York because,
Yes.
right, you see so many. It was like that, but more fun and even more vast.
Mm-hmm.
Just all kind of things. I feel like when you think of Copenhagen, you think of like colorful, playful, things like that. But there was everything. There was quiet luxury brands and just street style.
Mm-hmm.
There was everything in between. And everyone was so nice.
Oh.
That was the biggest difference. Just being in the fashion space.
Yeah.
From, customer service to just people, just meeting people. I would come down, in the morning, to go to the first event and just random people. Oh my God, I love your outfit. Or just so nice. And then the events and the shows. I don't know if they're just nice people. But the vibe was like, we want you to be here. It feels very like inclusive in every way.
Okay.
The fashion show, it was also the most diverse fashion week I've ever been to as far as size inclusivity, race, everything at every show I went to.
Amazing to see.
In a way that didn't feel forced or fake.
Aha. That's the important
So it literally just shot.
Yeah.
So that was my high. I can go on and on.
Okay.
My low, which turned into a high, was deciding not to go to Paris.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Paris is hard. If I think I talk about this all the time, but it is the hardest one. And this year it was especially hard because of the writer's strike and the actor's strike.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more actors were going to Fashion Week.
Yes.
Which means, right, there's only so many spots. There's only so many seats.
Yeah.
And Paris is the one most of them want to go to because it's the biggest one.
Yeah.
Which means people like me kind of get the boot. And so I just didn't have a lot on my schedule.
Yeah.
And Paris is the longest. And this was the first time I hadn't prepaid for all of my hotel stay.
Okay.
So I kind of made the decision just like halfway through Milan, like, I'm okay. I'm just going to see if I can get a flight home, if it doesn't cost me much more. I'm already feeling the stress of being behind on work. I just have other things I need to be doing. Mm-hmm. And right now, my schedule isn't looking great. Now, does that mean things won't come up? That's a sacrifice.
Exactly.
So I just had my assistant look into it, like just check the flights. We did. She was like, "Oh, actually, it wouldn't cost you anything. You'll actually get a credit." And the hotel I was going to stay at, it would have been for the time like $7,000. I could just do a lot more. I'm also trying to buy a house. Like, I could just be doing other things.
Girl, math. You've made money.
I made money.
$7,000 into your account. Thank you very much.
So we changed the flights. The next day, I get the call from Today Show. And they say, hey, mind you, we've been trying to get on the Today Show all year. And they're like, we just need more experience. Well,
just got goosebumps.
The next day, they're like, hey, we have a slot. Is she available October 3rd? When I would have been in Paris. I would have been there till October 5th.
Everything happens for a reason.
It does. It was gnawing at me.
Yeah.
That like, I just do not need to go.
Yeah.
And that was the reason.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't do London, do you?
No, and I want to.
Don't worry, I'm not offended.
No, I've literally asked several people. I've worked with like different consultants and different PR agencies. And I always bring up London because I've never been to London. People always tell me I would like it.
Ever?
Ever. Never, ever. I know I would like it. But yeah, every time I would bring it up because I'm like, oh, this would be twofold. Like I can like connect with people. I can maybe have a meetup, but I could just go to Fashion Week, do all the things.
Yeah.
I've always been advised not to go. I think the main reason is that London is still kind of gatekept. And they're not as open to influencers and content creators. So not that there's not good brands, because I like a lot of the brands. That's why I've always wanted to go. But that they do focus more on buyers and just like editors and people that actually have been long-term doing that job in fashion.
But also, I've had a similar experience with like being an influencer in London compared to moving here. So when I moved, I was like, it'll take me a few months to, get known by PRs or whatever here. And it was literally like hit the ground running because
I feel like there's a clear process here.
And yes, and also New York is just open to new people. Whereas London, you will see the same people invited to the same things. And unless you're in that group, you're not getting a look in. That's what I was told.
The people you see that are going to shows is because they have long-term relationships, right? So if I've been working with Burberry for the last 3 years on their fragrance launches, then they might be able to get me into the show.
Yeah.
But just going there and being like, hey, I'm Jenee. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My gosh. Okay. So if you had to give New York, Milan, and Paris a personality, as in like describe these fashion weeks as women to me.
Oh, that's so good. I'm trying to think of kind things.
You can take your time.
New York, Milan, and Paris.
Yes. Let's start off with New York.
New York is, she invited you, but she thought you wouldn't come. And so now that you're here, like, she has to let you in, but no one's happy about it.
Oh, God.
That's how New York feels.
Okay.
Milan is super stylish, but surprisingly sweet.
Okay.
And like, you know, like the popular girl that you're like, oh my God, and you're nice and funny.
Okay. She's got a resting bitch face.
Yeah.
But then when you get to know her, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And you're shocked how much you're loving it.
Okay. Okay.
And Paris is like...
Paris didn't even invite you. New York at least extended you the invite.
Yeah. Paris didn't even invite you. Paris told you not to come, and here you are. And we're confused why we're even talking. That's...
In a nutshell, wonderful. Okay. Yeah. That gives me a good taste of what it's like.
Yeah, I feel like I love coming to New York because it's right. I live in America, so it's home.
Yeah.
But it is always surprisingly like, you invited me. I'm not sure why you're being mean to me. Like,
oh gosh.
Yeah. It is very much, you know, knowing the right people and all those things. And when you have relationships, but people move around so much, so it's hard to even build on certain relationships so that you don't have that feeling because there's always new faces.
Yeah. I want to go down another area of your life here. So, a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
You added somebody very special into your team.
I did.
And that would be your husband, Josh.
Yes.
Who was also in the room here with us. Shout out.
Shout out to you, honey.
And he is your full-time photographer.
Yes.
Videographer.
Yes.
And CFO.
Yes.
Wow.
Of the
Not in
group.
the C-suite.
Yeah. He came in and went straight to the top.
Wow. Can't relate.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you about working with your significant other. Mm-hmm. How have you sort of like, or have you put things in place that means that this doesn't, whatever happens at work doesn't affect home, as it were?
It's been such a journey. So a year and a half ago, he became full-time, but he's been on the journey the entire time. So I think there's also a lot of practice and lessons learned. And I mean, I remember when we first started, I said, can you take my picture on the weekend? I think this could be a job.
Okay.
And we bought a little Canon from Target. I got to use my discount. And we started taking pictures. They were terrible. And we just, on the weekends, we would just do it for like an hour and then go on, just go on with our day. And
exactly.
Be like, I'm already dressed. So we can just carry on with the day. No big deal. But there was a lot of ebbs and flows and practice of like, I am my biggest critic. So I would get frustrated with myself, which turns into frustration for all of us.
Yes.
Where I would just be like, this is ugly. I look ugly today. Like, just let's just quit. And then I would just like go sit down for like an hour, and he'd be like, "Do you want to try again? Do you want to?" So he's very patient. I would say that is like a very important key.
That is
the biggest key.
Oh my gosh, because the few times, and my issue
taking pictures of people is not fun.
Well, I have screwed myself over because I used to treat Nee so badly when he was taking pictures. I would be like, why have you done that to me?
Yeah.
I don't even look like that in real life.
You don't understand.
Why have you gone
That's
for
why
this
it's a
angle?
job. Because it's very difficult.
It is so hard. And so because I have not been the greatest person to him, he now
refuses.
Yeah. So I'm lucky if I get the opportunity. And even then, like, I've got to be so sweet. Yeah. I've got to be, if honey, you could just possibly, we'll do it really, really quickly, right? I think, I've got my angles and everything because I've ruined that. So, and my gosh, the patience.
Yeah, you have to have the patience. And then I tried to put things in place to help the process along. So before we got to this full-time space, I also was very aware that even though this is my job now, he still has a job.
Yes.
And now this is his weekend, right? And we're supposed to go run errands and then go to brunch. And I'm taking that up to take these pictures. So how can I make this a more pleasant, but also more efficient?
Oh, aren't you a lovely person? Look at you.
But I also like efficiency. So like preparing, I would make sure I tried on all my outfits. I would practice my poses in the mirror and say like, okay, this dress, I need to do this. Okay, this is going to be a walk away picture. This is going to be a tight shot, because I had to remind myself this man is not a professional. Mm-hmm. I'm asking him why he didn't get the shot that I was thinking of in my brain. He can't see in my brain. Yes. So then same thing, I would be prepared with like, okay, these are the type of shots I was thinking of today. Mm-hmm. Right now, okay, for this outfit, I want to get this one. I would have them saved in my Instagram and be like, okay, so I want to try this picture. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be holding this bag, how she's holding it. Yeah. This is a car shot. I want to try this. I'm going to sit over here. So now we're both aligned. Yeah. That definitely made things easier. And then just the being self-aware of what my shortcomings are.
That's the hardest bit.
He is patient. I am impatient.
Looking at your soul in the mirror.
It is, but it's so necessary, because at a certain point, I'm like, okay, now this is a job. I need us to keep doing it. Yeah. And I need him to not hate it. So what can I do? Yeah. So let me be prepared, but also let me be, like, know when I'm going to be frustrated. I get very anxious with myself. I always want to do a really good job. I want to get what I have in my mind into the camera. Yeah. So how do I make sure I'm extra prepared and just like keep myself calm? And we still have our moments where I just get frustrated with myself.
Because you're human.
Yeah. Or you just visualize how you think something should look or it's going to look, or you have it in your mind and it's not turning out. And sometimes you have to be like, today's not our day. Yeah. I've also done that before and come to terms with, sometimes I'm just like, I'm not in the mood. Let me cut my losses.
It's true. It's true.
Before I ruin everybody's day. Yes. Like, it's just not.
The self-awareness is key.
And luckily for me, Josh fell in love with photography, because it also wasn't the long-term plan.
Yeah, exactly.
I did think at some point I would get a photographer. I just wasn't comfortable yet. So it was kind of like, hey, can you do this on the weekend? Yes. While I just step outside and have people look at me crazy and get comfortable. And then he just happened to fall in love with it, started doing like taking different online courses and just like doing his due diligence to try to get better. Exactly. And those things combined made it a smoother process.
And that's how you get to the top.
That is how you get to the top. Hopefully. We'll see. The top changes.
That's...
Yeah.
The goalposts do shift.
Yeah. Like, have we hit the top of what the initial goal was? Yes. But it's like, then there's a different goal.
But also, I think when you're self-employed or you're running your own thing, it's not like you have your yearly review where where you sit down with your boss and they're like, we're so pleased with how you've done, blah, blah, blah. You have to be very conscious about celebrating your wins.
And I'm terrible at it.
This is the thing, because you're like, oh, great, we did the Today Show. Right, what's next? Rather than, you know what? We should have a bit of a celebration. We really need to marinate and be like, that was amazing. We've worked all year to get to this, and you've done it. I'm giving you a moment here.
Yeah, there's so many things where, like,
you deserve it.
I haven't talked to someone in a while, and they'll be like, oh my God, they'll say something. And I'm like, oh yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago though. Like,
I know.
And that's not okay.
I know. But I think it's something that a lot of people do, because the world keeps moving and you feel as though you have to also be at that pace.
I feel like that's my biggest thing I need to work on.
Celebrating the wins,
because you work so hard to accomplish them, and then so much goes into them, and sometimes that's also what makes you feel behind, because you just went to the next goal. Yes. So it's like, I always have something to accomplish, and you're not even accounting
for all of that amazing stuff that's happened. Yeah. You work with a lot of big name brands, and I'm not going to cost you any jobs, so don't worry. You don't.
Thank you so much.
You don't need to name.
I'm buying a house. I appreciate it.
You don't. I would like for you to continue doing this. So you don't need to name and shame. But what are the biggest sort of like misconceptions you think are out there about working with big name brands? Especially in fashion.
So many things shot through my head. So I'm trying to pick. I think working with luxury brands, I think the misconception is that you make a lot of money.
This is very true. They are arguably the stingiest.
Luxury is the least profitable.
Yeah.
If you want to make a lot of money, go work with Tide. And Bounty. Yes. And cleaning supplies and household things. And
all of that.
That's where I think that would shock people.
Yes. You're right.
If you want to work with luxury, you're going to get a pair of shoes.
Yeah, and as lovely as those shoes may be, that's not paying my rent.
Yeah, so it's a balance, but there's a give and
Of course.
There's a give and a take, but I think that's a very important piece of information that
definitely
people assume, like, oh, I see you with all of these luxury brands, you must really be raking in the dough.
Yeah.
I'm just wearing a loaned outfit. Going to
mine for 24 hours.
As happy as I am.
Yeah.
As much as I love the look. It's very different.
No, it's true.
And then just brands in general, I think, like, if you want to see people that are making the most money, it's the family people.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Why it's such a big business.
Yeah. So I now want to talk about some sort of trending topics within fashion at the moment. I've got a couple for you. Number one, we've got the new H&M Rabanne collaboration. What are your thoughts on H&M collaborations in general? The pricing that we've also been seeing with them. We've had Mugler this year and Rabanne.
I have a lot of thoughts on that.
Oh, fantastic. Please.
Which kind of leads to my overall thoughts. The Mugler, I've never really, I feel like, been as affected by a collaboration. But for this one, when I tell you, this really got me in a tizzy because I made my first Mugler purchases right before this launch. I was visiting a store in Atlanta, and I had some Mugler things on my wish list.
Yeah.
Of just like, I wanted this blazer I had been looking at for a while, but I wanted to try it on. I just went in the store. They happened to have it. I was like, perfect. And
Was it the one with the mesh?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one.
And then while I was there, they had the jeans.
Oh,
I tried them both on. And I said, these are just cute things.
Yeah.
I've been looking at them for a while.
Yeah.
We'll just
Today's
give
the
a little
day.
splurge.
Oh, dear.
Literally the next week.
Oh, gosh.
My things still have the tags on them. I see the announcement of that, and they're exactly the same.
Salt was poured directly into that wound.
And I love collaborations because
Yes.
I do feel like people should be able to enjoy things at every price point.
Yeah.
Don't have a problem with that. I think that's great. I've just got to the point where I can afford
Yes.
to not get the dupe.
Yeah.
But they should not be the same, look the same, and feel the same. And when I tell you, I was in my mind, like, as soon as I wore mine, someone was like, oh, you got the H&M Mugler jeans.
Yeah. And
no,
it's like-
actually, I paid $1,000 for them because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
And it wasn't on my radar that they would be $100 pretty soon.
Exactly. This is the first time that I saw an H&M collaboration that was copy and paste mainline.
Yeah.
Like, usually, if you look in the past,
You get the vibes.
you get the vibes, you get, those like heritage aspects, but it is a completely different collection, design-wise from what you would pay thousands of dollars for, right?
Yeah.
And so this was the first time that I saw this, and I was like, okay, this is interesting because either it's genius or you've shot yourself in the foot.
And for me, you shot yourself in the foot. While that collaboration was happening, I would continue to get emails, or it would be on my little suggestions on Farfetch or My Teresa. And I'm like, I'm never buying anything again.
Well,
Unfortunately, you would have to come out with something so innovative and different, but I will never buy anything from this brand.
Like, you can't now continue giving us what you've just given.
Because you told me you could do it at that price point.
Exactly. And you made you used a very specific word earlier, which is very important, which is it feels the same.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that you're paying $1,000 for a pair of jeans and the denim and the spandex used is the same as the 200 pair from the collaboration.
Yeah.
Because now you're just like laughing in our faces.
Yeah.
And we're just like, oh, wonderful.
And it's
so
like, I know everything is not worth the money. Like, that's not why we buy the thing.
Yeah.
But that was just like, it was lazy. Because I wanted to get things from the H&M Mugler. And I was like, but the things I wanted.
I just bought,
This is what I would have bought.
I get that.
Yeah.
So, with the Rabanne collection that's coming out 9th of November, I believe is the drop date. But something interesting, the creative director was talking about how working with H&M on this collaboration was, and how they've managed, I was really
Same quality, right?
He was like, we've managed to give the same quality of the like metal mesh pieces as we have from mainline. And I was like, why would you say that?
Who asked?
Yeah, exactly. Because you're selling this chainmail dress for $3,000.
Yeah.
And the most expensive thing in this collaboration, I think, is like $600.
Yeah. And I love Rabanne. I mean, I got my first Rabanne piece on the outnet, and that was still $1,000 for a skirt.
Exactly. And it's like, is this the right move?
And I feel lucky that I didn't invest that much.
Yes.
But does it put you in a category where I probably won't invest moving forward? Yes.
Excellent point. Because I think also, as we've sort of like, quote unquote, evolved with fashion and production and everything, the gap between a luxury brand's quality and what you can get from like something like a COS or a Uniqlo, that gap is becoming smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
And so you're doing things like this, and it's like giving me even more reason.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
I don't have to guess.
Yeah.
You're like, this is what it is.
Ignorance is bliss. At least lie.
I'm sorry you've been an idiot, but the writing's on the wall, honey.
Exactly. And it's like, oh, all right then. Oh, well, I'll girl math. I'll keep my money.
Yeah, I can't, in my right mind, just go back to being like, okay, now that that's over, just let me get that dress for $2,000.
You see?
I'm just going to try to get, I mean, I'm really not good at shopping collaborations because I don't like to shop under pressure. So I typically just don't, like, it just sucks the fun out of it.
Yeah.
I like to leisurely, let me decide. Let me, I can't even peruse. I'm just like, click.
Yeah, let me get what I can get and go.
Yeah. So I don't, if I can get something, I will just enjoy that until the end of time. But I probably won't be making any, Because I also already had them in the category of the outnet for me.
Yes. It's like it always goes on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you just push yourself even further down.
Oh, dear. Well, no, it's true. The other thing that has happened, this has happened over the last few days, so I don't know if you've managed to catch up yet, but have you seen that Kylie Jenner has released a clothing line? So we've seen the faux leather trench.
Yes.
That's going to be the most expensive thing.
I didn't know that was faux.
Yeah, $198.
Oh, really?
That's the most expensive thing. And the cheapest thing is going to be $48, but we don't know what that is yet.
Interesting.
What are your thoughts on the whole thing? The price point?
I love the price point. I wasn't expecting that, especially based on the pictures. It looks very elevated. Unfortunately, at this point, I put them in the category that everything's a cash grab. I have not seen enough commitment to the other brands to be able to support or feel like this is something you're actually passionate about. It could be her passion project that she is like putting her absolute all into.
Yeah.
But after seeing Kylie Skin and Kylie Baby and Kylie Cosmetics.
Is Kylie Baby even still out? I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know what's still.
Or were you just having a baby?
Swim.
And Kylie Swim.
Lest we forget.
We forgot. I can't in good conscience be like, you know what? I'm sure this is like the thing she's really been waiting to do. And it very well could be.
Yeah.
But you don't have, my vote of confidence is not there.
I know what you mean. And I think that it has to be, especially when, you know, like over the span of their career, you know, they've done so many different product lines or whatever. But something like Skims made sense. And it was like, oh my gosh, she should have been doing this from the beginning. Mm-hmm.
But because
it just worked.
But she also was solving a problem.
And she was very sort of like vocal about what she used to do for, you know,
so
under
much
her
intentionality.
outfits. Exactly. And it was just like, oh,
none of their other products do that. The only other one was Good American. That's why that's also working.
Exactly.
That was a
Good American is great.
It was solving a problem. It was filling a void. Mm-hmm. It had a value offering. Yeah. It had, you know, and they could support it with a message that was like, that meant something to people. Yeah. Everything else we don't need.
Yeah. I can get a faux leather trench from Zara for the same price.
But she also doesn't need us. The people.
That's very true.
This is going to sell.
Oh.
We're not the target audience.
That is going to sell out in 5 minutes.
Especially at that price point, which is probably why it's the price point, right? Yeah. Because she has, they're so strategic, that damn Chris. She has positioned herself as more of a fashion person to her followers. So now they can feel high fashion for $49.
By buying Kai. Yeah.
Genius. I knew she wasn't at all those fashion weeks for nothing. Genius.
Damn it. Devil works hard. Kris Jenner works harder.
She does. She really does. She should write a book.
I'm surprised she hasn't.
She has to. Maybe she can't.
I think maybe she's done like an autobiography or something. But it's like, I need to know the inner workings of your business brain.
Yeah, it needs to be business.
Yeah, and I don't need a masterclass. Like, don't do me you pay, $50 and, I get...
She has something... She has a masterclass.
Does she? Because you're not telling me the secrets.
What's the thing...
You're not really giving me the inside.
Maybe it is masterclass. What's the thing that...
It is masterclass. The one that, like, Anna Wintour's on it.
And, like, Annie Leibovitz.
Yeah, it's like... I'm sure you're selling those courses. I've not seen a competitor. As in, like, I've not seen Annie Leibovitz, somebody take her course, and now, there's this fantastic photographer, and she took Annie Leibovitz's course. I'm a bit... You're keeping your cards close to your chest there. You're telling me I could use my iPhone for the same result. And I'm sceptical. Poor Annie Leibovitz, I've thrown her under the bus. Yeah. For all we know, it's very much worth the $50. Do your research. We'll never know. We really will never. So, I would like to now... introduce us to the next part of the podcast, which is the Wheel of Nosiness. I've got a wheel here that is pre-populated with questions. Okay. And if you just tap the middle of it, it will generate one for you, and then please answer.
Oh, 2 fashion brands you're excited about. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have to say, because it's just my current... Yeah. What I'm into is Saint Laurent.
You know what? I feel like I've only just sort of started my foray, and I get it.
Yeah,
because you've been singing their praises for a while.
Really, especially because the last year, we talked about the whole color thing and just wearing what you feel comfortable in. Yeah. I am just happy and comfortable with what I like, which is tailoring, which is being, streamlined. It's neutrals. It's classic shapes and silhouettes, and then just having like, a bold piece or a statement. Yeah. That's the YSL woman.
It's true.
So I've realized that, and I'm like, they just make it so easy. And they give me what I like at a level that no one else can.
Oh, it's true. Like those leather jackets with the shoulder pads from last season.
There's no dupe.
There really is not.
I just bought a coat 2 weeks ago, the herringbone coat, and I had no intention of buying that coat. And I had looked at that coat. Like, I remember when I was looking at the jackets, they were just some coats coming out, and I was like, those are great coats. Like, but it's summer. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, but this coat, this print. Ooh. And when I put it on, I walked out of the fitting room like I was going on the red carpet. I pushed the door open. And I said,
you were like, no camera space.
And of course, everyone's like, ah!
Yeah.
And I'm like, just wrap it up. Take it off my body.
Yeah.
And wrap it up.
Yeah.
And this is what I feel like has been such an issue with brands, is like, stay in your lane.
Everybody's trying to do too much.
Is your woman. And serve her.
Yes.
And everyone just wants to be on the cutting edge of whatever is the trend. And now everyone's quiet luxury, or then everyone is Y2K, or then everyone's making cargos. And YSL is like, this is what our woman wears. Yeah. This is what she likes. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's me.
Working.
Yeah. You know what I'm excited about? This is going to be controversial.
Ooh, tell me.
I'm excited about Gucci. I know.
You know what? You're the first person I know that's had a good thing to say about.
I know. And you know what it is?
You're excited for a change. Is that it?
It's knowing who I am and what I like.
Okay.
I didn't go in Gucci stores since the GG belt. It just wasn't my vibe. I would see Gucci on people. I mean, I think I bought the Gucci Balenciaga blazer. That was but that was more when I was in my Balenciaga phase. Yeah. I just liked the collaboration. But I wasn't shopping at Gucci. I think Alessandro Michele was amazing. And I loved his innovation and like creativity. Yeah. And it was very much, again, this is our woman, this is our man, here's how we dress people. But it wasn't for me. Yeah. And when I saw that show, so then this is just enough. But I see where we're going. I think also people are putting too much
pressure on the first show.
Right, we're just dipping our toe in, we're just getting our feet wet. But in my eyes, I can see the vibe. Yeah. And the transition we're making, which is more streamlined, which is more, it's the things that I like. I mean, like, one of my favorite things was the little navy hoodie with the bedazzled and the,
That was good.
I like shit like I like simple,
Yeah.
clean things, and it's got a little extraness. I can't resist a crystal.
Yeah.
Call it what you want, but I like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy that. And I didn't see a lot of the other shows where I would see things and be like, oh, that was a cool show, but not like I need that thing.
Yeah.
I can't wait till that comes out. I saw several things. Most recent fashion purchase is my coat.
Oh,
That was
Your herringbone.
last week. And also, I bought a shirt too at YSL. But this I had on my wish list,
Oh, do
and I
tell.
had her looking for it.
okay.
That shirt.
Oh, that looks great on you.
And it's just certain things you see, and you're like, "This is me." I already know
great
how I would
colour
wear it.
as well.
I don't have anything that color.
Yeah.
It has shoulder pad. I love a structured
It
shoulder,
hangs really nice.
and it's like all year.
That's so interesting.
Right, like I can imagine that during Art Basel with like
Yeah.
a little skirt or some little shorts. I have a YSL long maxi velvet skirt. I'm like that with.
Stop.
I know.
That's date night.
I know. Like, I'm gonna take her everywhere.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Oh, that looks so good. Okay, that's a good one. Excellent purchase.
Thank you.
Approved.
Yeah, I just got those two things. Discontinued fashion piece that you want brought back. I have it on the tip of my tongue because I've been searching for it.
Tell me.
The Tom Ford caged gladiator sandal boots. Do you remember these? They had the
Googling.
cutout. You're gonna know exactly what they are when you see them. Yep. In the black.
Stop.
Yeah.
You know what? You could be naked and nobody would be looking because the shoes are getting all the attention.
So.
What a statement.
And where are all the people that bought them?
Yeah. Why are you not showing
Get
up
them out
on
of the back of your closet and sell them to me.
Yeah.
Because when they came out, I didn't have any money.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's my time.
Now it's my time, and I need to have them.
Somebody snatched them from you. I've seen them on the Real sold.
I know. I mean, I hate to even mention it here, honestly.
Estimated retail. Oh,
Now everybody's
you
gonna
better
be-
not. You better not.
me look at 'em.
Gazumper. That's really good.
Because I've also been in my like era of like, what are the things I absolutely, instead of buying new, what are the things that I
you've
could
been
not afford
obsessed- yeah.
at their peak?
Yeah.
Because that's also how I try to like make my splurges now, thinking long term, or
Yeah.
maybe let it die down a bit. Will I
Yeah.
still love it? But and now I'm like, what are the things you absolutely would have killed for? Let's try to find those things. Like I just got my first Speedy.
Jenee, you have been an absolute pleasure, as I thought you would be.
thank you.
Please plug yourself. Tell everybody where they can find you and also your new style series.
Yes, you can find me at YouTube, Instagram, Jenee Naylor. I'm sure it's up on the screen.
Links will be below as well to make things
Links will
easy.
be below. Also, over on YouTube, I just started a new series. Cassie is also a guest called Style Unlocked.
I had a wonderful time.
It's an amazing series where we talk about your fashion journey, personal style. We play some trivia, and we rate a lot of celebrity looks. So tune into that. It's every Wednesday. And where else am I? I mean, I'm on TikTok. I'm on Pinterest. My
Even
blog.
the Pinterest. I didn't know about
Yeah,
that.
we post daily, honey.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
You're working
that's my
overtime.
ass job. But yeah,
Wow. Good
you
for
never know. You never know where the check's gonna come from. You need a blog post? I got you. You need a pen? I got you there too. TikTok, that too. And my blog is highlowlux.com.
Amazing. Like, subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, if you're listening elsewhere,
Yes.
write a review.
Rate it, yes.
Give me 5 stars because
Give
I know
her-
it was better than your last Uber ride. Okay?
Yes.
And I know that you threw him a 5 stars.
Yes,
Okay?
give her 5 stars.
Yeah.
Cheers to you for making the media you want to see. I love that.
Oh my gosh, what a lovely thing to say. Thank you.
It's really my new mantra.
I like
that. There's such a miss in media in
Yeah.
general, and I don't want to see another show about bad girls and bad boys and villains. And can we just have fun with fashion?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. It's true.
Where are the inspiring things? We used to watch so many shows where it was like, I want to do that when I grow up.
Oh,
Or
it's
I want to,
true.
so many
Yeah.
behind the scenes,
Yeah.
people working in magazines. It's just so many things. And now, what do we have? Housewives and
Yeah.
bad girls.
Bad girls. I've never watched any of that. Is that any good?
No, I mean, I can't.
Yeah, I can't.
So, yeah.
All I know
cheers
is that
to
like
you.
one meme with the pans. Have you seen
I
that?
ain't get to sleep because of y'all.
You ain't getting no sleep because of me.
That was probably the last time I watched one. That was, yeah.
What a way to end it. Brilliant. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.